What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the waitress round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, hot, nothing but the truth. SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio. SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio. What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the waitress round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, hot, nothing but the truth. SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
10 seconds, y'all. So we are excited today. We have, hey, Trey Cheney, Trey from The Wire, Sunny Boy Henna. The show is live now. I am streaming live from Washington, D.C. I'm streaming live from Charlotte, North Carolina, but the show is still going on in D.C. Love you too, brother. So you can go to listenvisionlive.com. I'm here hosting the first annual Women's Summit for Unity for Us Community Outreach. It's a wonderful organization. The founders are going to be with me today online. I'm excited, but you can still see the show live. I want you to spread the word to everyone. Spread the word out. I'm going to be hanging out with Lisa and Charlene and Pat. I'm just going to be hanging out with some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful women. And I'm excited about it. And let me just tell you something. Anytime there comes some unity, the enemy is going to try to bring in some discord. So we want to make sure that we all know that thank you, Trey, so much. We're all here to have a great time. We're all here to just have a good time. This is the show that keeps the real in reality while impacting the viewers and listeners, one viewer and one listener at a time. Minister Charlene is here. She is the visionary behind the Unity for Us Foundation with her assistant, Minister Lisa. Before we even get started with the show, I just want to pay homage again to Queen Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. Her funeral is coming up. And they have a lot of things going on right now in Detroit. So we just want to make sure that today, give flowers to people while they live. Can't nobody smell a dead rose. Can't nobody see a bird when they're dead. Can't nobody see I love you when they're gone. So take this opportunity to definitely, hey, Patricia, oh, y'all, you know y'all down there doing it. Just take the time out. And when you have disagreements and things like that, it does not make us enemies because we disagree. What it does is it brings us together so we can get stronger. And we can disagree to agree. All right? So just to let you know a couple things that was happening in my life this morning. Let me see, where should I start? This morning, it was a great day. Called my mom. I was supposed to pick my mom up, and we were heading to another part of North Carolina to meet up with Patricia, Lisa, and Minister Charlene. And my keys were locked in my trunk. So luckily, I was here with a friend of mine, and we tried to get the locksmith and everything. And so got the keys out the trunk. Hey, Arthur Fawn Joan. But what happened was, it takes 41 minutes to get to the other side. So when the engineer called me and said, listen, you can do this live, and you are live at Listen Vision. So I'm excited. And so it's still, Deshaun is there. Y'all are doing it. See, now y'all know I want to be there. See, you see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? But anyway, Sky is in DC doing a show. she does event planning. So she's in DC doing some events and things like that. But I got a round table of some women that I'm ready to interview, and I'm just excited. So I want to take a few seconds to pull up my little prompt sheet, and then I'm going to bring in Minister Charlene, who is the founder of Unity for Us. We're going to talk a little bit about her. We're going to talk a little bit about everybody at the panel that's at the round table today, and talk about what we expect God to do in the lives of everyone that's going to be a part of this event, number one. But not only that, what are we expecting God to do individually, as well as, I know we talk about collectively, but individually in everybody's lives who are attached. Because some people may not even be here, but there are some people that may be attached to this. So, and what I mean when I say attached, your daughter, your mother, your aunt, your first cousin's cousin who's to come. So, because we know that blessings come down and curses go up. All right. So we want to make sure that we talk about those things. I want to get a little up close and personal. Hey, Wayne. Hey, David. I want to get up close and personal with each and every one of you about where you've been, where you're going, and what you expect God to do as a direct result of what we're doing today. All right, y'all. So at this time, I'm going to bring in our guests, and we're going to talk to Minister Charlene Mullins. She's the visionary behind this event, and it's the first annual women's community event. We have so many things that we're going to be doing here. Hey, Trisha Ann. She's a native Washingtonian, graduated from DC school. She's done something that a lot of people haven't done before. She's gotten 2 degrees. They went to 2 colleges for 2 different degrees. She has a BA in biblical counseling. Business administration. And then she went to divinity school, so she has a degree in biblical counseling. So she's been ordained and all that kind of stuff. But aside from all of that, hey, Mom, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me take a second. Cornette Poe, do you know my keys were locked in my trunk? So I'm still here at the hotel. I'll pick you up and get all the paperwork, and we'll go from there. But we're actually going to still stay live. So y'all can go to www.listenvisionlive.com. But aside of all of that stuff, she's a notary public. She's done a lot of things. She's travailed a lot of places. Overcame so many things. Words cannot even express a lot of things. It's amazing how sometimes we come into each other's lives and we think that this is what we're going to do. And then God say, no, this is what I'm going to do. So I just love what God has done when he brought us all together. So without further ado, I want you guys to welcome my guest, Minister Charlene Mullins, and she's there with Deshaun, Patricia, and the co-founder of Unity for Us Foundation, a community outreach, which is Melissa Barry. So I'm getting ready to try to pull them in here, and we're going to make this happen. Where are we? I'm trying to pull you in. Let me see. There we go. Bring you on the camera. Everybody, we are live at www.listenvisionlive.com. It's saying that I can't bring you on the camera. Okay, let's try Lisa. I'm trying Lisa to see what's going on because it's saying I can't bring Charlene on the camera. So with her is Melissa Barrier, who's a part of Fit Team. She does health and wellness. Hey, ladies.
Hey. How are you, everybody?
Hey. Look, we got a real crew. This the real crew. Wow. This the real crew early in the morning. So I am so glad that you are able to join me. I want to be like sitting right there. So I'm going to just move my chair around so it looks like I'm sitting there.
I know that's right.
Because when you got that little that energy, you got that spiritual energy.
Come on now.
See, y'all better come on, stop playing with me this morning. When you got that spiritual energy, you want to be a part of all of that. You don't want to miss none of that. Jesus. So I am excited. I am so excited. I've been waiting. Every time you come to DC, I'm like, you come to the show. We want to talk about the event. We want to talk about the event. But it just so happened that God would have it just like this. So we had this whole hour to talk about Unity for Us community outreach. We want to get up close and personal with each and every one of you all so that our viewers, and a shout out to those of you that are viewing from us in China and in Ghana and Uganda. Thank you guys for viewing and just watching us. I don't take it lightly that you guys watch us from all over the world, but I just want them to get to know you guys other than what I've gotten to know and what other than what I've got to enjoy firsthand. There's a whole world out there that wants to know you guys up close and personal. So before we get to the Unity for Us community outreach, talk to us about Charlene, where it all began for you, even in life, where you've been, the roads that you had to travel, even to the place of you.
Girl, it's too much for that. I'm gonna give you a snippet, but it's too much for this.
We got time. This y'all hour.
We'll actually be here for a long time. So I'm gonna give y'all a little something. I don't want to give you too much. But with that being said, Pastor, first of all, I want to thank you for giving all of us the opportunity to even come onto your show. And we want to give God first and foremost before all of that. Give God, our honors, his honors where it's due, not ours. Because if it wasn't for God, none of us would be here. So I just want to say that first and foremost. And I also want to say, you said everybody's names right. I'm proud of you. I love you. I said, look, but it actually, I'm just gonna real talk. It all began in my mom's womb. That's where it began. And I don't want to go into like my life story because I can, but because I'm saving that for this event, and people are watching, so I don't want to give too much. But I've been through, and I have a story. But I'm going to go back to 2007. I'm going to go there because when God, even like back then, like as I was going from, I'm going to say 1998 is where my life started transitioning to a better life. You know what I mean? Because I was in the world. And so when I crossed over, it was 1998 when God he had me covered all the time. It was not one time that he did not have me covered, but he allowed me to go through the things that I went through so that so that I can let them see the manifestation of what God did, not what Charlene did. Because when I tell you the stories, and it's not just one, that how the enemy tried to kill me several times, but God said, no, I'm not done with her yet. So here I am. And I stand boldly, because God has said, you have something in your mouth and they need to hear it. So with that being said, 2007, I'm going to go back to 2007. As I began the journey of being in ministry, I was saved very young, working in missionary at 9 years old. 17, I received tongues. I spoke the unknown language and still speak it fluently. But God had been doing so many things. And so in that window of 98 to 2007, I, began to learn myself. But when I came down to relocate down to Charlotte, I really found myself. Because God had to strip me away from all the noise so that I could really hear from him. So 2007, I had begun to write a book. And I happened to go back because I was like, Lord, I don't know, what you really want me to say, because it's so many things that I can say, but you still have to know your audience too. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, and he took me, we were looking for stuff, putting things together for this event. And I found a portfolio. My God, when I tell you, and on the portfolio, it says the life and the ministry work of Charlene Ware. My last name was Ware then. You understand? Because I was married. And when I read that, I had a breakthrough, right? Let me tell you something about this table right here. Let me show you this table. Y'all see this table right here? This table
Honey, we know
This
about
table
that
right
table.
here.
That's why I'm mad.
Girl, it got some residue on this table. The residue is here. I had a breakthrough that these two, Lisa, Melissa, and Patricia, had to hold me so close. It was like, being in your mother's bosom, just being held by your mom. And as I was reading it, and they just looked at me at an odds of what was in what I was reading. And it took everything for me not to break as I was reading it, because you had a lot of hurtful stuff that was going on in there. You know what I'm saying? And when you talk about, being ripped and torn, that's the name of my book. Ripped and Torn, but Now I'm Healed. That's my book. So when I say that I was ripped at a very young age, I was torn to pieces, broken. I could have lost my mind.
Yes.
So when I say that, people don't understand. When you have a mandate on your life and you say, God, I say, yes, I'm willing to serve, and not serving for people, because I've been there with the people's pleaser too. Okay. I've been there. He said, no more. So everything really to come to grips was 2007. So that was the year of completion for me. So I was going into 2008 in newness. So right now, we 8/25/2018. This is a new beginning for me again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just very, very humble. I don't exalt of myself, but I love myself today. I love who I am, and I love who God has created.
All right.
And a lot of people don't understand. Even we talk a lot, and even when I met you, how God gave me the vision where we are right now with Unity for Us. He then gave me not the name, because I had anointed eyes, 2007. But God gave me the vision. That's where anointed eyes come from.
Those eyes came from.
So he gave me that, and that's one of my gifts, because I can see things. You know what I'm saying? And so even when you and I met, I was so excited. The energy was there, most definitely, because you're a powerhouse, and so am I. To God be the glory. But that positive energy, like you said, you had the energy, I had the energy. And so you were sharing things with me, and I was like, oh my God, because when God gave me the vision, I was just undergoing cervical cancer. I don't talk a lot to tell everybody everything, because sometimes people, you say, pray for me. They're not really praying for you. They praying against you.
Praying.
They praying for your failure, Yeah. So when that happened, and I seen you come up my timeline on one of my Facebook or whatever, and I said, oh my God, because I looked at your page, and I'm gonna tell you, when I seen your page, I was thinking about publishing. I didn't know that this was gonna be right here, because I'm looking, I said, oh, she a publisher. I could get her to help me do my book. That's where that came from. And so when I seen you, I said, woman of God, I need to talk to you, and I need to talk to you. And I began, when we did make that connection, I began to tell you the vision about Unity for Us in this event. And so I did get a little sidetracked. And let me tell you something, and this is to everybody. When God gives you a vision, he will make the provision for the vision. All we have to do is position ourselves. Somebody's trying to reach Lisa, and trying to align yourself with God and not man. So we get excited, and you said to me, and I knew this already, so it was like,
give us a second. We're on the cell phone, so I think somebody's trying to reach him in. I think somebody's trying to call in. Anyway, we're going to hold it 1 second. But of those of you that are in North Carolina, there is an event going on today in Charlotte, and I think there. It's for women only. We're excited about what's getting ready to happen. And we're definitely going to be taking some time out to just bless God on what he's doing today, you know, in the lives of his children. We're just going to take the time out to build in the community. And also, okay, let me try Melissa again. Also, Charlene wrote a portion. Hi, Michelle. Wrote a portion in my book called Being Made Whole. So I don't know why it's not. Okay, let me do Patricia. Let me see. Do I have? Hey, did I do it? Did I? It says I'm adding you. Okay. Okay. All right.
Pastor,
So I'm here.
I don't know. Something just happened with the phone. It just froze up when Lisa was getting a phone call.
Okay.
So it was coming in. So it froze up. Everybody pretty much was froze up on this side.
Okay. All right.
For whatever reason, we couldn't hear nothing you were saying.
Oh.
It just came back in.
Okay. So
I'm gonna be real brief so I can pass the thing around.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to say I had to come back to apologize to you because that's not what God had given me. And a lot of times we can get off course
Mm-hmm.
and miss the promise of what God, when he gives us, you know, some type of instructions or order, we must follow that mandate just as he stated.
Mm-hmm.
Because one wrong, left or right or turn, then you know it's of self and it's not God.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to come back and I said to you, remember, I said, Pastor, and I cried on the phone with you and I said, if you would still work with me, I would greatly appreciate it. And you were so humble, but you was excited because you said you knew something and you knew it, but you was just waiting on me. You know, so I love you for that, you know, because sometimes us as women, and I'm going to wrap it up because I'm going to tell you what the event, and this is closing it up. Most of the times women may see you doing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand the mandate that's on your life or the vision that God has given you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that they're being haters. We would say haters, but it's just that they don't understand. They don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand what that connection that God had given you.
Mm-hmm.
So for this event, God, when I say it's different, because everybody have women's conferences and all that stuff. They do. We done been to so many of them and we've seen so many. Mm-hmm. But this has been ordained. And trust me, I believe every one of us, even yourself, all of us has gone through something. Because when you're getting ready to birth something and we're right at the head of it, I mean, like I even had phone calls this morning, yesterday. It's just crazy stuff. But I still remain humble in the process of it all. So we want to meet the women where God met us.
Hey.
We want to look on the women. So I even asked everybody to be there at 1:30 because prayer breaks the chains and the yokes of things. So we coming together to unify. Unity.
Mm-hmm. The first three letters, I tell everybody, the first three letters in unity are you and I.
Come on.
Okay. And a lot of times,
UNICY.
A lot of times what happens when we're dealing with women and and I'm so grateful about this because a lot of times women can be very catty.
Girl, you took the words out of my mouth.
And so with that cattiness, it comes to scratches. You know, it comes to leaping and the lurking. Y'all know how a cat does. A cat ain't gonna flat out jump you. A cat leaps and runs, you know. And so what happens when we're dealing with unity, we break all those different barriers. We break all those different things and those different, you know, I'm gonna give you a good example. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, we was doing the bios. And you said, no, we gonna be all right. And I was like, okay, I got you. And he was like, but no, let me finish. I said, I got you. You know why? Because when you follow, you have a good leader has always been a follower.
That's right.
Everybody's, just because you're not in the forefront or you're not this, it does not make you, it does not diminish who you are. You just need to learn how to follow. When I said I thought that was the case, remember, because see what happens, the enemy will get in and try to make it be more than what it is. He'll get in. And we're so close to the birthing canal. We're so close to the delivery of newborn babies that we don't have time for the midwives and the nurses' assistants and all of that to be at odds with one another. We got to be on one accord because somebody's umbilical cord could be wrapped around their baby neck.
Come on now, yes.
So if we don't pay attention to what's creeping in and lurking, even we, the elect, can be fooled into some foolishness, and then the purpose will be aborted because we're not paying attention. He said,
"That's right,"
and pray. So
that's right.
This is how unity is when we say, "Okay, no, this is your." That's why I say, "What you want me to do? I'll follow. I got it. That's cool. We here. We there." Why? Because we have to learn how to truly be real sisters. We have to.
That's
I'm not talking about. I don't serve a fake it till you make it God. I don't know where they got that from. That ain't the kind of God I serve.
They just made that stuff up.
That ain't the kind of God I serve. I serve one that is true and alive and kicking, just like me and you.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I am excited about what's getting ready to happen. I'm excited for your obedience to God. I'm excited for your obedience to God. I'm excited to you paying attention to the vision. Because let me tell you something. Without a vision, we're going to perish anyway.
Jesus.
Without a vision. If anybody is on this earth and don't know where they want to go or how they want to try to get there, because the end result belongs to God. But if you don't know where you're going to, you're going to perish.
Come on.
So I thank God for that. And I know that there's so much more to come. And I did want to move on to Lisa right quick. Lisa, you too. First of all, I want to thank you. Hey, you know why I love y'all. Y'all know why I love y'all. Y'all ain't so super religious, right? Y'all know I don't do church people, right?
Right.
But that's not in a bad way. That's not in a bad way. I think about the guy that got beat up on the side of the road, right? And the church people walked past and left him there. But the one that was living like the women y'all gonna be ministering to today came over there and hooked him up.
Yes.
So I don't do a lot of churchy tradition because there's so many people hurting.
Yeah,
and the church ain't helping unless you tithing. You know?
And
y'all want to so the reason why I love the connection is because we all have a divine relationship with God, but we also know how to meet people where they are. And that was one of the reasons why when she started sharing with me the vision, I was like, oh my God, I can't. Oh my God, you mean to tell me there's other people out here like me? Oh my God, you mean to tell me there's other people really walking around here like that? Because when you live a different kind of life that's not traditionalized by man-made stuff, you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be talked about. And I want to talk to you, Lisa, about how you had to overcome a lot of barriers of fear, even to be where you standing at today.
Come on, girl. Yes. Well, with me, I won't be long, but with me, it started back around the age of 13, 14, where the brokenness took place. And being told by those that say that they love you, telling that you can't do. And at that young age, I knew that God had a plan for my life, but I just didn't understand it at that young age. So I went through a period of being broken and, just counted out. And the enemy tried to make me feel like I didn't have a voice, that what God had for me to say wasn't important. So it wasn't until I, really got that relationship and prayed and, stayed in prayer and asked God to connect me with like-minded people, people that believe that we all have a voice. There's no big eyes and no little U's. So we all have a voice. And when God really started dealing with me and I began to learn who I was and whose I was.
Come on, man.
God showed me that no matter what anybody has to say, whether it's family, so-called friends, naysayers, or what have you, you just trust in me because I know who you are and I know who I created you to be. So when he connected me with those like-minded people, he connected me with Minister Mullings back 4 years ago. And I just knew it was from God because the connection was so divine, you know. So, and then I knew I knew the connection was so divine and it was from God because she started to pour into me. She started to pull things out that I know didn't nobody else know but God. So with that being said, for is fear. Anybody on the line or any woman or any man, boy, girl, whoever, don't allow fear to cripple your purpose. Jesus. Know that God has put purpose in you, and that as long as you stay true to who you are, not who somebody else say or profess that they know that you are. But that's where it comes in, knowing who you are and who you are. As long as you stay true to that and know that you have purpose in your belly, that nobody can take that away. Continue to push forward. So, and God had put it in my spirit a couple weeks ago, no longer being quiet. It's time out for being quiet. Sometimes we have to walk in quietness when the purpose is being birthed. However, sometimes God will put things in us to encourage, inspire other people. And it may be trivial and it may be small to other people, but long as you know, that's where that relationship come in at. Long as you know that he put that in you for you to share to like-minded people, and like I said, meeting people where they are. I was one of those people where I didn't love myself. I was broken. I felt like I was less than. I felt like I was counted out. But it wasn't until I got that relationship and he just renewed my mind and renewed my spirit for me to know that I am somebody. So that's why I can love people where they are, because I don't look at myself up here. Because I know that the God that we serve, he has a purpose for us all. But it's up to us to accept the purpose and be obedient to the instructions. So that is my story in a nutshell.
Lisa,
how I began
so proud of you.
Overcome fear.
I am so proud of you. I'm almost about to
cry. Man.
I'm so proud of you.
Jesus.
I'm just so, and I'm just sitting here like shaking my head, and please, I'm not shaking it I'm just shaking it and like, God, you are so awesome. Because it wasn't long ago, this push that you got. It wasn't so long ago. It's like, bam, what now? What? What? I ain't quiet. What? I got something to say. I'm so excited. Thank you. Hey, Kiana, Jonika. Thank you, Jonika. I'm just so excited. Lisa, I want to say to you that God is not finished. He's not finished. And you know, I love the part. Let me just share with you guys. I remember I grew up, I was saved at 8 years old. I was doing door-to-door ministry. I was speaking into, I was doing all that stuff. But guess what happened? I fell in love with another woman. And church folk, and I was on crack first. And I was going into the churches trying to get prayer for deliverance. Okay, so I don't play with that, keep putting your hands on me and all that kind of stuff. Because the word of God says, lay hands on no man suddenly. Because when we move suddenly, it's not, we just got to be cautious and let the Spirit move us. So anyway, but when I went to talk to them about, I got a problem, I didn't grow up like this, I didn't want to be like this, they was moving their pocketbooks. Right? But y'all talking about meeting people where they are. So I got delivered from that. It's been almost 27 years since I last had a cigarette, a drink, or a drug. And then I fell in love with a lady. And so, of course, I was doomed to hell, but I forgot that I was fearfully and wonderfully made. I forgot that, you know, God reigned on the just and the unjust. I forgot that the Samaritan woman wasn't one that everybody wanted to deal with. I forgot that Paul was murdering Christians and he thought that he was right. So what was wrong with me? And so finally, everybody, and when I was asked to speak different places, they kept saying, "Are you a preacher?" Child, no, I ain't no preacher. I ain't no preacher. God love an honest heart was always what I would say. But I remember, Lisa, there was a song that said, "Lord, I've sinned, but I still hear you calling my name."
Yes.
And I remember that song, and I could not go to church on Sundays because every sermon was about gay people and homosexuals. I was trying to figure out, well, what about the pastor that got his first lady sitting up there looking prim and proper, but he's going to beat her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner when she get home? What about the deacons that's having sex with the usher and they making babies out of wedlock and everybody looking around and acting like they don't see it because they giving a really good offering? I was thoroughly confused about what love really was. Because if I'm in the emergency room where I'm supposed to be helped at and y'all killing me, I don't have nowhere else to go.
Yes.
And I asked God when I finally got out of that, I said, why did you take me through that? You know what the Lord said to me? So that you can have compassion and not condemnation.
Oh, my God. Amen.
So when I'm looking at you guys at this round table, I've been following all the little fees. I've been doing everything. I say, God, I thank you for giving people all across the world in different areas, different backgrounds, different walks of life, the compassion and not condemnation. Because if we don't take them as they are, just like Jesus took us as we are, who gonna take them?
Come on.
Yes.
Who gonna take? Y'all letting any kind of thing come up in the church. Well, you was any kind of thing because you're in here talking about anything.
Right.
Okay, so if you ain't gonna be a part of the solution, then you are a part of the problem. I believe that the solution started at the pulpit first.
Yes.
So I bless God for y'all. I'm telling you, y'all have no idea. I really wish I was over there. I'd probably do a cartwheel right now. But I ain't gonna do it on live TV. But I'm telling you, I just bless God for your power. And you all that are viewing, Lisa and Charlene actually added an excerpt in the book, Being Made Whole. And I thank God for you guys for contributing to that wonderful project. It is doing wonderful. The virtual book tour, I understand, is doing great. And so I thank God for your contributions to that project. Moving on over to Deshaun. Where you at, Deshaun?
You're welcome.
I want to let everybody know that you guys can call us live. Thank you, Vanique. You guys can call us live at 301-442-1716. You can join us. You can leave a message. We are still live, streaming live on Facebook, but you're also live on listenvisionlive.com. Pastor Jeremiah, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining us today, too. But we're on here talking to the women that are a part of the Unity for Us First Annual Women's Summit. We are expecting a good time in the Lord. We are expecting a good time. You know what? We so happy that the Lord will be glorified and the devil gonna be terrified. Y'all want to talk back to me today? He gonna be terrified. All these powerhouses he got up in the house. I don't understand. But Deshaun is another Washingtonian. She's hanging out. But let me just say this. Domestic violence is real. Domestic violence is true. Domestic violence has been swept under the rug for many, many centuries and generations and cultures. You know, women's supposed to be seen and not heard. Shut your mouth, do this, do that. So I'm not going to let her give y'all everything because you should have been in North Carolina to be at the summit.
That's right.
So I'm just giving y'all an opportunity. Hey, Daryl, son, the kingdom needs strong women. Thank you, Pastor Jeremiah. I'm just giving y'all a snippet of what's going on in the universe and how God is setting up the atmosphere for some real folk that ain't got to have all these accolades, but they have what it takes to be able to bring a solid word and help a sister out who is down there. They can reach their hand down and pick them up where some of y'all putting your foot down, they're stepping on them. So, with that being said, Deshaun, welcome and thank you for joining me at SaySo Radio.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm wonderful. First of all, tell us a little bit about Deshaun before you got to the awareness of who you really are.
Well, Deshaun was quiet. However, outspoken at the same time, if you can understand that. Very personal, a mother first, protecting my children, and honestly protecting the abuser. Didn't want anything to happen to him. That was the father of my kids. And a friend, known him since I was in the 4th grade.
So that's who Deshaun was, a protector of everybody. He didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Some people may not believe that because, again, I was a little outspoken but quiet at the same time. But didn't want to see anybody hurt, not even the one that was hurting me. Then, I saw I paid attention to my children. Although I was going through what I was going through, I still paid attention to my children. I'm a mother of 4. I have 2 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
And I had to remember, I didn't want my sons to be abusers, and I didn't want my daughters to be abused. But I didn't want my sons to be abused either, So I decided when I think I was pregnant. It was in 1994, 95. I decided, okay, let me go up to this altar. I need to give my life to Christ. Had no idea that when I did that, things was going to get worse. And it did. So the abuse got worse. Now, the abuse was there, but the abuse got worse when I decided to give my life to Christ. And I realized that it was because of that. They say, don't find it strange. I was being persecuted because of who God was in my life. Because he would tell me, you don't have to pray all the time. You don't need to go to God all the time. But I needed him all the time. Even in that, I would talk to him, say, Lord, I don't feel like fighting today. But I had to fight today. But it was who I wanted. He allowed me to have what I wanted. So that's how you need to be careful. I wrote this down in my book yesterday. When you allow the wrong thing to touch your soul, you begin yourself to think and act foolishly. And that's what I did. I was, like I said, I was protecting this man. I didn't want nobody to hurt him, and he was hurting me. They didn't see it, and I hid it very well. I was one of those, what happened in my house stayed in my house. So my children didn't tell it. We didn't tell it, but we got through it.
Okay, so the enemy don't want us to hear that part. But I'm going to keep talking until that phone comes back together. Hi, everybody. We are talking to some of the guest panelists for the Unity for Us first annual Women's Symposium today. Bring them back in a minute. You guys can actually call us online, 301-442-1716. You guys can call us and definitely leave us messages at www.listenvisionlive.com. So please don't hesitate to call us in and let us hear what you got to say. All right, call us up and let us hear what you have to say. I also hear that my children are here. Thank you, my kids. I love you guys very, very much. Let's see, 301-442-1776. I'm trying to let me see if I could grab them back in here. Can grab them back.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. I was still talking to the guest. I was still talking to the guest. All right.
We're sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I know it's a busy day, so calls going to come in. Things are going to happen. It's okay. It's okay. So I don't want to really get too much into it, but I do want to applaud you, and I want to also ask you, what would you say to someone who's afraid?
I would actually say, reach out to someone, because there is always help. Reach out, even if you're in church, go to your pastor, or Anybody you have to tell, just tell her, not to keep it to yourself, not to be afraid. You know, I'm gonna say for me, when I decided that enough was enough for me, watching my oldest daughter step to her father one day and tell him, "Don't put your hands on my money." That right there said to me, "Okay, wait a minute." It was one thing when my oldest son was fighting him, but it was something else when my daughter had to come. You know, and I had to say, I can't do this anymore. But God was changing me because I noticed that I was laughing at some things that I would have cried to before. So I knew that he was changing me and making me different, you know, and I think he knew that too. So now I'm laughing and I'm not crying. And now I'm joining things and getting involved in some things. And I had moved my bed out of the house and got a futon and kept it up as a sofa, letting them know that I'm just going to sleep in this bed. So, you know, you can't be afraid. You have to let somebody know there is help, whether you know it or not. And everybody, so don't want to see you go through what you're going through, and the more you try to keep it away, especially if you have children, it only gets worse, and it only hurt the kids. And children, they're a lot smarter than we give them credit for, because children knew. They knew. My daughter, I tried to hide. I covered my side of my face up with my long bob that I always had, a signature bob, and she knew my face was swollen. You know, and she told me that. She let me know. I know your face was swollen, and it wasn't. But I forgot what I said it was from. I might have made up something. You know, but they do know. But let me also say this about this visionary over here, because we had a talk. I had no idea back 2-3 years ago. And I commented on her live yesterday and said, this thing was, you were pregnant with this thing 2 years ago. 2 years ago, our time. Our time is different from God's time. Yeah. And when she had this conversation to me, I was in my mother's driveway, sitting in my car. We probably talked for like an hour. Yeah. And I had no idea that I would be having this conversation with other women. I know who I am, and I probably knew it for a very long time, you know, who I was in Christ. And even when I was going through that, I knew who I was. I knew as a little girl. You know, although, I mean, I still had some insecurities. My ex, he didn't know, but the devil knew what those insecurities was. And they allowed him, he was used. And I won't say anything bad about him, because it's not to bash, you know, the abuse. It's not about that. But I knew who I was, but I had no idea that she probably didn't even know what God was setting up at the time. But we had this conversation. We had a long conversation, and then it came back to it again. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You said this back 2 years ago. But look at that. I mean, you put it in the atmosphere, and God was going to do it. But it's all about his time, you know. And me personally, who Sean is, I would rather not even talk about it. Not to say keep it a secret. Not what I had to go through a secret, but I just would rather not even talk about it, because I don't like confrontation. You know, I don't want to go back and forth. I mean, I can have a good argument, especially when I want to get my point across, but I would rather not do certain things for the sake of keeping the peace.
That's right.
You know, but this was something that had to happen. And I told her about 2-3 years ago, she may not remember, I said, but when you do it, let God put the people in place. And it may not be who you want it to be involved in, and had no idea, again, that it would be me. Never would have expected.
Well, you know, it's amazing that you said that. Are you writing a book?
Yes, I've been writing the same book. I was still married. I was still married. I've been writing the same book since about 2004, 2005.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. You need to finish that book, and we'll talk about all of that. Y'all can go online to infinitypublicationsllc.net. You can finish that book.
Okay.
I just actually finished talk show host Angela Fox from the A Fox show in Georgia. We just finished her book. Y'all may have been on her live before. You may have met her, Lisa and Charlene. I think you met A Fox. And then Jacint Hecklam from Illusions TV show. She just contracted me to finish her book called Love After. And so You guys got to finish that because this is just the beginning of some major things. Because ministry is one thing, but ministry is another thing. And what you guys have is ministry. And see, ministry, I like dirty ministry. I don't like that real clean, prepped up and pretty stuff.
Right.
Because see, I can do the form of godliness real well. But, I also know how to do the form of godliness and go home and be a whore. Okay.
Come on, talk about it.
Yeah,
talk about it.
I know how to do that. But if there are women who could relate, and then I know how to do the form of godliness and go home and hide up black eyes and emotional insecurities and felt like I feel this big. But then there are women in place, such as yourselves, who say, I've been through that. I've been through fear. I've been through drugs. I've been through alcohol. I've been through this. I've been through all that. And then what happens to that still sin sick soul will say, for real, you can even begin to tell them what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. And that person can look at you with tears in their eyes because they felt hopeless. And here comes the hope. Here comes the very present help in someone else's time of trouble. So it's very, very important that we finish. We're in that birthing canal, that birthing process, but there is work. And the word of God says, the great work that I began in you, I'm going to finish it. So I don't care what you got. Let me tell y'all something. Charlene, you were there. You were there. And I wrote that on my live. You were there when I got the call after 35 years. My husband didn't want me no more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about 35 minutes. 35 years. And let me tell you something. It was already over before it was over. The only one that didn't know that was me.
Was you.
Okay.
My God.
But let me tell you something when it comes to self-discovery and self-revelation.
Yeah.
When you had that relationship with God, I was a cover-up too. Because my grandparents were married 42 and a half years before they got divorced. So I was also a cover-up. But at the end of the day, I said, I'm taking the cover off. I'm taking the mask off. I don't care if we weren't together. Because we're not together don't make me a failure. But my thinking, because I'm shy by nature. I'm shy by nature. I'm only bold when it comes to things that I stand for and I believe in. So other than that, I'm just in my little shell in my corner, minding my business. So I understand. But if there were women like you all, as opposed to ones with the big hats on and you got to do this and got to do that, telling me stay, when I knew full goodness well, my should have been gone. But because of traditional stuff, I stayed. But today, I'm free. And I didn't even know I was in bondage until I got out. Come on. Where Pat at?
Yes.
Come on, Patricia.
5 more minutes, baby. You got to.
Okay. Because we got to go.
That's all.
All right. Nice talking to you.
I'll see you guys in a few.
All right.
Hey.
Hello. Hey.
Now let me tell you something.
And I don't need 5 minutes.
I need this is what I want from you. What I want from you is to look all of our viewers in the face and you tell that lost one, you give that lost one some hope, because there's somebody that's hopeless watching right now. There's somebody that's hopeless watching. What would you say to that one? In fact, there's a set of sisters that are watching. They feel like running, but they don't have nowhere to go. What would you tell them?
First of all, I'm going to tell those sisters, you need to run to God.
Amen.
Because God is going to help you through whatever. You need to surround yourself with positive women that are going to uplift you. They're going to push you. Because I'm one of those women too where I needed to be pushed. So I'm a crybaby.
Me too. Girl, don't tell
all of us.
She's a leaker. You know, my co-host is my daughter, and her favorite line is "She's a leaker."
My mother talked about me like that too, but it's tears of joy.
Yes.
as I was speaking on my live yesterday about hurt people. We need to stop hurting one another. We need to help, encourage, uplift, be there for one another. As women, we need to be more united because, you know, everybody has a different story at this table, what they've been through. And we all haven't been through good things. We went through some bad things to help us get to this part, to be able to tell our story to help somebody. But like Sean said, you gotta talk, you gotta tell somebody. You know, and for me, I work with youth. So the youth, I love kids, and I'm always talking and encouraging my youth. Not only am I doing that, I'm walking and I'm leading by example. Because I'm not going to tell them to do something that I wouldn't do or that I have not already done. So, and, you know, in today's age, our youth are.
Is that the thing?
You know, everybody, a lot of people just going astray. We definitely have to wrap our arms around them. First, we got to pray for them. We got to stay prayed up. Because society now has, the devil is trying to win society, but we got to guard it. God is, I know that God is good, and I know that God is going to, that's her. I know that God is going to deliver, as he has done for me, because I'm a mother of 4, a single mother of 4. I have 3 beautiful grandkids. Family is everything to me.
My mom is saying she's sending you a holy hug.
Thank you, Mom. I watched my mother, my queen. She showed me and loved on me to show me how to be a woman of God. Because I was out here doing everything I wasn't.